Hello students. Now the next topic after the introduction of fuel and its classification is properties of fuels. So as we know that fuel is a combustible substance which on burning in presence of air gives energy. Now we have seen already the example of carbon. When 1 mole of carbon is treated with 1 mole of oxygen, it will give 1 mole of carbon dioxide with a 97.6 kilocalories of heat, which is generally energy. Now there are two main basic properties of fuel. Number one, ignition temperature, and number two, calorific value. Now ignition temperature, the word ignition itself indicates that ignition is a to initiate, to start. So the temperature or the minimum temperature which is required to fuel to catches fire is called as the ignition temperature, and again it continues to burn without addition of any another substance or fuel. Got it? Now the minimum temperature at which the fuel catches fire and continues to burn without addition of any another substance like fuel in it, that is called as a ignition temperature. Means every fuel is having its particular ignition temperature. For example, the solid fuel like wood is having its particular ignition temperature. Up to that ignition temperature it will not get catches fire. While for an example, gasoline, when gasoline as it is in liquid state, it is having its particular temperature at which it catches fire. So there is a difference in the gasoline's ignition temperature and wood's ignition temperature. So this particular ignition temperature depends on the different type of factors like number one, state of the matter or state of the fuel. From this particular example, it is completely understood that if we see the example of wood, it must require the more temperature or more heat to catches fire. While on the other hand, if petrol is there, it will require comparatively less fuel to get or less temperature to get catches fire. So this is one of the example of state of fuel. Then number two, pressure exerted on the fuel. Pressure. So whenever any fuel just started burning in the, for example, coal sample is there and coal sample started its burning in the particular type of vessel or calorimeter. So whenever there is a burning going on, those pressure which is exerted on that particular fuel is important factor. So on that particular optimum pressure only it can be burned properly and give energy properly. So pressure exerted is also an important point. Then moisture present in the environment. Then moisture present in the environment with the same moisture present in the fuel itself. If a coal sample which is having more moisture, it will require more energy to start up, that is more ignition temperature. If it is more dry, it will require less ignition temperature. It is having less ignition temperature, like that. While moisture is present in the environment, if any fuel it is burning continuously in the presence of atmosphere or environment directly, at that time if environment is more moist, it will be having the higher ignition temperature. While if dry condition is there, then it can easily get catches fire. So in this way moisture is also important. Then after that, the air and fuel ratio, it is also an important thing. So when air, if there is a very much air present in the environment and fuel it is very less, so again it will be very difficult to get catches fire. So there should be optimum ratio of air and fuel. So it is also an important factor. So like that, number of factors like whenever different constituents of air are there, then for example oxygen is amount in a less amount, another gases are more. So like that, that is also one of the factor. Then shape and size of experimental vessel. So whenever there is a shape and size concern, whenever shape and size of the experimental vessel is concerned, that there should be the particular shape. If by the particular type of fuel that flame or that fuel is not getting particularly oxygen in the optimum amount, so it will be difficult for that fuel to get catches fire easily. So shape and size of experimental vessel is also a very important point. So like that, these are the factors which affects the ignition temperature. So in this way, it is a very simple phenomenon we can study. Then second is a calorific value. So calorific value is again very important property of fuel, which is studied only on the basis of which, on the basis of these two properties we can study that whether that fuel is properly having good quality or not. So second is the calorific value. So calorific value itself indicates that particular calories are there, and whenever those fuel which gives more calories is more good or more having the good type of quality. So calorific value is amount or quantity of heat which is liberated during when 1 unit weight or 1 unit mass or 1 unit volume of substance, that is fuel, is completely burned. That is called as a calorific value. When 1 unit weight or 1 unit mass or 1 unit volume of substance is completely burned, at that time those amount of energy evolved or released or liberated, that is called as a calorific value. Now calorific value is a very important property of fuel on the basis of which only the fuel can be just signified, or whether it is a good quality or it is having a bad quality like this. Now calorific value, it is having in a CGS system, it is having a unit of, in a CGS system it is having unit of calories per gram. That is, those it can be defined like this amount of heat which is in calories produced by 1 gram, amount of heat which is in calories produced by 1 gram of fuel when it's completely burnt. That is called as a calories per gram. While in MKS system, when we see in MKS system, the amount of heat, that is amount of heat which is studied in kilocalories when 1 kilogram of fuel is completely burnt. Got this point? When 1 kilocalories of heat, when the heat which is producing calories, whenever 1 gram of substance or fuel is completely burnt, it is called as a calories per gram, that is CGS system. And second is energy released when studied in kilocalories, and which is produced when 1 kilogram of fuel is completely burnt, that is kilocalories per kilogram. Then third is the SI unit. SI unit is kilojoule per kilograms, like this. So in this way, these are the units of calorific value. Now next we will see the different types of calorific value on the basis of its method, or we can say that higher and lower calorific value. So first we will see higher calorific value. Now you will say me that how the calorific value will be higher. Simply it is a type of liberated heat which is produced when 1 unit weight or 1 unit volume or 1 unit mass of substance is completely burned. But also there is a somewhat difference in its particular method, or we can say that type of its burning. So higher calorific value, or it is also called as a gross calorific value. Gross calorific value. Now higher calorific value is again same calorific value, but at last the products are cooled up to the room temperature. Now what does it mean? The amount of heat or energy when released when 1 unit weight or 1 unit mass or 1 unit volume of substance is completely burned and the products are cooled up to the room temperature. Now room temperature here is considered as a 15 degrees Celsius, means after the combustion, whenever is combustion going on, there is a highest temperature, and at that particular temperature if the products are not cooled, then what will happen? All the products like hydrogen, when hydrogen is there inside the constituents of fuel, it will combine with oxygen, and whenever it will combine with oxygen, it will form H2O, that is water, and this water is evaporated at the temperature of burning of the fuel. But when if the same reaction is condensed or same reaction is cooled up to the room temperature, then what will happen? This vapor state water is now converted into the liquid water, and during that there is a release of latent heat of condensation. So that latent heat of condensation is again added into the calorific value. That's why gross calorific value is not only calorific value, but it is again higher calorific value. It is because of addition of latent heat of condensation is there. Now like that, next is a lower calorific value, which is also called as a net calorific value. Lower calorific value, which is also called as a net calorific value. Now this net calorific value Again, it is in the same way, definition of calorific value, that the amount of heat or energy is released when 1 unit weight or 1 unit mass or 1 unit volume of substance is completely burnt and products are allowed to escape into the atmosphere. It means that at that highest temperature, just reaction is released and the products are allowed to escape into the atmosphere. It means that there is no any latent heat, addition of latent heat. So simply lower calorific value is calorific value in which this particular amount or heat is not added. It is about 69100 calories. So this lot of energy can be removed, can be wasted. So that's why lower calorific value is nothing but the smaller or net calorific value. So in this way, gross calorific value is equals to net calorific value plus latent heat of condensation. So in this way we can study these both properties of the fuel, which are very important, and on the basis of which we can signify the fuel, or we can say that whether that fuel is having a good quality or not. Thank you.